I made this. I made the most dangerous and strongest cargo monorail in Minecraft. Heavily armored, and it's even nuclear. So how did I do this? Well, let me show you. So hey, welcome back to a new video. My name is Ross and today we are going to make a really cool monorail train. And for that we have some really cool mods installed. I'm on a special mod pack and it has a lot of really cool mods installed. And the ones that we are going to use today is most of the create mods and also the add-on mods of create and also monorail train track. So actually, what's a monorail? So with a traditional train track, you have a train which is on a normal track like this. But with a monorail, it's kind of like a train track upside down in the air. So for example, this is a monorail train track basically, or actually a monorail. And we can choose between having the cart underneath like this, and look at that, that looks absolutely awesome. Or you can also choose to put it on top, for example, that works as well. And then you can actually build on top of this train, for example, over here. So if we do something like this and then something like so, and having a train control, and we glue this all together like so, and then we accept, and there you go. So now we have a train that is actually on a monorail. So if I go on top of this, let's see, and I click this, then we can go forward, as you can see, and that's really cool. Look at this. Whee! So that's actually how a monorail works. And we are first of all going to make the actual train. Just like I did with my other train build, I will first make the train and then we will actually make it work. But not just a train, I'm going to use these item vaults. And these item vaults are basically big tanks that can store any kind of object. I don't know if they can actually store liquid, but I know that they can store a lot of items. The bigger the size, the more you can actually store within this vault. And I actually want a train that can store a lot of bulk items and actually can go to another station and drop those items off, like a really big cargo train on a monorail. So I had a really cool design in mind, and I at least want a vault that is a 2x2, and of course doesn't really matter how long they are. And I kind of want it on both sides, like a storage tank on one side and a storage tank on the other side. And I found these really cool blocks which are called copycats. And with copycats you can make all kinds of slopes, for example, and then you can give it any kind of block and it will actually change into that type of block. So for example, now this one is stone. So I came up with this design, a really cool shape. I really like it. It's a bit weird of a shape, but keep in mind that this is a monorail. So the monorail will be somewhere on top of this, and then this will kind of hang down. And as I said, I want to have two sides with two barrels, or the containers with the actual items in there. So that looks like this, and that looks pretty cool. But of course, these are just copycats and we still have to color them. So I actually want this to be kind of like my last train, a bit dark, a bit like a futuristic, but also like it's really heavy material, like heavy machinery. So I found these blocks in the mods that we have. And as I said, we have a lot of mods with a lot of blocks. So yeah, I found these blocks and these are really cool. So they look really futuristic and like machinery kind of blocks, and they look really cool. These are also really cool with the indents and all that. So yeah, so I'm going to use these kind of blocks and give this a nice color and see what it will look like if we make this like this kind of color. And as you can see, I can just simply right click and add the blocks of color to these copycats. So let me create a really cool color design. So I came up with this, and this looks absolutely amazing. So of course this is just one of the bogies, and we still need to make like a front and a back or something like that, but this looks absolutely awesome. So the actual tanks are right behind here, of course, and these blocks are really cool. I really like these grid patterns, or this mesh, or whatever you want to call them. It's a bit sleek, it's a bit clean, but don't worry, we'll change that. I left these two spots for purpose, like we can like make blocks or something and make it like cool contraptions, as if it's holding the monorail or something like that. As I said, this is just one of the bogies. Of course, you probably wonder, well, how are you going to take out the items within those vaults? And we have these blocks for that. So these are kind of like hoppers that can go through, I think, one block. So we need one hopper like this and the other one like this. And then when the train comes over, these two connect and they can transfer items in between. So that looks really cool. And you will actually see it move and all that. So we have to place one over here somewhere and then one on the outside, and then they will connect. So that will be really cool. And I will see what I will do. Maybe they connect over here, or maybe on the bottom or something. I will see. So yeah, this looks really cool. So maybe before we continue and making all the other bogies, maybe it's good to actually make this system work and see if we actually can connect these two and actually get items in and out of the vault. So I have been tinkering and I have been looking into these machines and see if I can actually make them work. So basically, just imagine this is the train that passes by, and this is the other end that will insert items or take out items. And right now I will insert items, and I will insert about a stack of these shafts. And they should end up in this barrel. And as you can see on the top of my screen, it says nothing about items, so there is nothing inside. So in theory, when I switch this lever, this one should turn on, and it should give these 64 shafts into these barrels. So let's try that. And there we go. So let's see if it works. And there we go. And as you can see, now this is slowly emptying, and yes, it's getting into these barrels. And that looks awesome, look at that. So they actually connect, and when that's all done, so let's take out a few of these. It should stop, and there it goes. And it goes off. And here, all the items are within the barrel. So that is really awesome. As you can see, it tries to connect, but there is nothing inside, so it will just keep on going. We can also take items out. So if we put a funnel on here, it should throw out all the items. Let's try. And connects, and there it goes. Look at that. So knowing that the machine works, we can continue on making these bogies and actually make them look pretty cool. So I think the next step is to maybe give it a bit of a wear. Like, it's really clean right now, so maybe I will use some other blocks to make it more corroded or something like that. And also we will take place the monorail and see how that looks with the actual, like, the wheels on the monorail, and see how it connects. And it will make this thing just look really, really cool. And then we will stack them, and of course we then have to make one that's in front and one that's in the back, and then we make a track and see if it actually works. I decided, and I think I will go with this design. So the monorail will be just above the actual train itself, and we have the bogie right in the middle. I think that's the best option. So I want to make this thing look a little bit more cool and more industrial like, because right now it's pretty clean, and I think it's really cool if we add some extra elements to this and make it actually look like it's much stronger. So I'm gonna use a lot of copycat blocks and also a lot of extra stuff. We have the cannons mod as well, the big cannons mod, so I will use that as well and add some really cool stuff. They will not work because we don't have the interactive mod or the clockwork mod, so this won't work, but still it looks really cool. And yeah, we have so many types of blocks, so let me make this train look a little bit more industrial. So I wanted to make a nice time lapse, but as you can see, the replay mod completely broke. So yeah. So I made this and it looks absolutely awesome. So I gave it a lot of attention for detail and I wanted to make it as rough and like buff as possible. To see that this is actually a cargo that you don't want to break or don't want to steal. It's like really guarded. So there are gunners on both sides. And look at this. This just looks really awesome. And also the top part and everything, it looks really steady, really sturdy, really strong. And again, these gunners don't work. We don't have the right mods for that. But still, it looks really, really awesome. And yeah, now we only need to make the a few of these, and then of course the front and the back. I have no idea what I'm going to do yet, but yeah, I think I will keep it kind of the similar and not change too much. And yeah, so this looks just really cool. I really like this. I really like the shape. To be able to take out the storage should be really simple. We just have to place this one over here, and then we can just cover it up, because I think it can go through a block. And now it is just a simple task of gluing this all together, make a bogie out of this, and then we can actually test if that mechanism over there works. If I did everything right, it should now work. And there we go. It works finally. Yeah, the only downside is these Nixie tubes go out. That's a new update, sadly, so they go out. Anyway, that means that if we do this, it should actually work. And it does. That looks so cool. Look at this. So of course we have these interfaces, these connectors and in here, and I'm actually going to look if they actually work. So if I did it right, then it should connect to this one. So let's try and see if we can actually... There's a really stupid place that I placed it over there, because now I cannot see. But can I see? Can I see? Ah, look at this. That looks absolutely awesome. Look at this. So it does connect. That's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. So I disassembled it. I will copy this and then we can paste it a few times, make a schematic out of this, and then we are going to work on the front and the back. So let me raise it up for a little bit and also make this into schematic so we can copy and paste this. 5 minutes later. So I placed the bogies a little bit higher on the monorail, and I didn't place the bogies itself yet, but I made a schematic and I placed them over here. And I already started with kind of shaping out what the front will be, just a 2D image, and I will make it 3D and make it more of a shape, cooler shape, but just to give it a nice shape. So that should be the front, that should be the back. And the back is really simple, it's really small, and the front will be a little bit thicker because of course we need like a cabin in there. And don't worry about these things, I just did them to test some stuff out, but yeah. This looks pretty good in terms of shape. And what I want is a gunner or some turrets on this sled right here or up there, but I think it will be over here just to protect the back of the train. And on the front, I will also have a gunner right there. So this block will probably go away, but there will be a gunner on this place. And of course, we will have some windows and we will have more of a cabin, and it will kind of look good in shape. So yeah, I like this. Let's start with the front or the back. I think I will start with the front, and let's see what we can make with this. There we go, and it looks absolutely amazing. So we have the front bogie and we have the back bogie, and it looks really cool. I really like it. Let's have a little look on what I made in front and in the back. So in the front we have of course the driver place, and there will be only one driver. And I actually made it possible to have a actual little room in here where we can have an actual driver. So of course I will have a seat on here, and then with some mob that will actually drive on a schedule. And I try to kind of make this look cool, but there's just enough space for the actual the controls, and of course the seat. So that's cool. And we can go in by a little hatch over here. And yeah, that's the front bogie. It's not really that special. It looks very strong. It looks very like simple, but also it's just there to drive it and nothing more. We have a huge cannon on the front, on the bottom, to protect the front of the bogie. And when we go to the back, same kind of thing. We just have a really small, simple back bogie. The bogie on the back is actually only there to protect the back. At least that's the lore of this thing. This actually looks absolutely amazing. I'm really happy with how it turned out. And now it's the thing that we have to make it drivable. And also we need to make a really cool track. So I'm just gonna make a simple track that goes around a little bit. And then also we have to make some kind of, let's say, parking bay where all kinds of machines will be attached to these huge tankers, and actually take out the items or pour in the items within the tanks that are inside over here. So I placed the bogies, as you can see, and now we are going to test if it actually works. So I made the track a little bit longer, so we should have a control thing in here. Everything should be now glued properly, and yes, it works. Okay, good. And it said it had 4 bogies, which is, yeah, so the front and 4 bogies. That's all right. And that seems to work. So now we can actually open and close this. And if I go in, oh, not like that, and close it. Yeah, that's the only problem. We cannot really get in here. But okay, we can still start and we can move. We can move. This is awesome. Okay, so let's stop right here and let's see what that looks like. Oh, look at that. There are lines between. Okay, cool, cool. It works. It's a bit funky in really sharp turns. This is a really sharp bend, so I have to make sure that the bends are a little bit bigger than this one. But still, this looks awesome. And the front bogie seems to also turn separately from all the other bogies. That's the most important thing. And that looks great. This is absolutely amazing. I'm really glad on how it turned out. So, okay, so let's bring it back to the station. I will glue this block together and then we will do a little bit of the wearing, make it look a little bit better. And then I'm going to make a cool like line somewhere throughout this world of the monorail. And also we have to support it because right now the monorail is just floating in the air. So we have to make something cool. And also I want to make some kind of station that, as I said, that has some contraptions that can actually connect to these tankers within the bogies. So let's do that. There we go. It works. It actually works. I have made a huge track over here and I made this thing actually work. And I'm so incredibly happy on how everything turned out. So this thing drives, it goes around this track and it actually goes into this big building that I created within the mountain. And these doors work and we have some cool systems that will suck out the items or bring in the items, and this is just really cool and everything just works. It's just I'm so happy. Let's drive it for a bit. Look at this. It just completely works and it's so incredibly awesome. Look at this thing go. And we can just drive in and then we have to stop at the station. And this is just really cool. So let's just park it over here. There we go. Let's jump out. And yeah, I know it's really dark in here, but don't worry, I will try to brighten it up. And then we have these really cool machines over here that will actually connect with the train, and that's just really awesome to see. So this is really cool. Look at this, look at this. So I have two buttons, one that goes forward and backwards and one that goes up and down. So first we have to put them downwards. So we press this button, and if we then look, boop, you can see that they go down. That's really cool. And then when we press the second button, they initiate, and as you can see, they connect. And that looks so awesome. It looks so awesome to see that in action, to see that work. And of course, when a train has to go away, we just press the button of going backwards, and they disconnect. And then we press the other button, and they go up. It's so cool. And actually, this is just cosmetic, but we can actually make these kind of things work and actually suck in items or suck out items. So that's really, really cool. So also this big door actually works. I have a button over here. If I press the button, then the whole door closes. And that's absolutely awesome. Look at that. And then the train is good and secured right in here. And you can do your work. It's really modern, very sci-fi like, but I just really love this. I really love this train. It looks so incredibly cool. And to see these things actually in action and see this actually connect to the train, it's just awesome. So without shaders, it looks like this. It looks a lot less special, but still it looks really cool. And yeah, I'm in love with this train. I really, really enjoyed making this. This is so cool, and it actually works, which is even better. So yeah, let's open the door and let this thing go out again, and let's just drive around for a little bit. And there we go. And we are off, and that's so cool. Look at this. We are actually driving, and it works perfectly. So we have a nice track over here, and just look at this magnificent train. I'm so happy how this turned out. Look at this. This is so cool. You can actually look through the window. As you can see, it's not a lot of window that we have. We cannot look that far. But just look at this. This is just awesome. And it works perfectly. It goes all throughout the bends and everything. And it doesn't hit anything. So let's drive back to the cave over there and actually park this thing again. So in the beginning of the video, I said that this train would be nuclear. And how is this train actually nuclear? Well, actually because of two things. Well, of course, it just looks like it is coming from a nuclear place. And also, I had these really cool decals that you can place on. And this one says radioactive, but yeah, you know, like nuclear, radioactive is kind of the same thing. Not really, but you mean, you get what I mean. And of course, there are like cool mods with radioactive and nuclear stuff. And as long as it is an item, you can store it in these tanks. And one of those items that we have is refined radiance, just a radioactive kind of sheet or anything. From Dreams and Desires. So we could hypothetically put this into these tanks, and then this would make the train kind of radioactive, nuclear kind of stuff. I know it's kind of a bit shady to say it like that, but yeah, to not make it clickbait, yeah, we can say that this train looks nuclear and could be nuclear. Let's just say it like that. Look at this. This is just awesome to see. Slowly going in here, and then let's park right at the station. And there we go. This is so cool. I could play with this thing all day. It's just so cool to actually make this train work and drive around and actually park in here. I want to see these things in action one more time. So we first have to go put them down and then to the side. So up and down. First press this button over here. So up, then, and there we go. And then we press this button and it goes. It's so cool to see. And it all works perfectly. We can close the door and then we are done. How cool is that? And there we go. You made it to the end of the video, and before you click away, there is something special that I have to tell you. But first of all, thank you all so much for watching. It was a blast to make this. It was a really cool project to work on. It was really cool to actually work with these new create mod add-ons, and yeah, I'm really happy how this thing turned out and that actually everything works. And that this thing actually can connect and actually function in some way. So yeah, I'm really happy how this thing turned out. It's really great. And of course, a lot of you are wondering, can I download this train design? Can I make it for myself or anything like that? And the answer is that that will come soon. Because I'm in a very special mod pack, and not just alone. There's something really cool coming in the future, and that's something we are working on right now. I'm not gonna tell all the details. I'm not gonna spoil the little surprise, but all I can say is that there will be some really cool new projects coming, and I'm really excited to show you all what's that going to be. So what I try to say is that when this new project is going on, then this mod pack will be free to download, and then I will make sure you can actually download all my trains and those kind of buildings. So don't worry, that will come in the nearby future. But yeah, that's kind of a little bit of a secret, so I'm not gonna tell too much about it yet. So if this is the first video you watch of my channel, go check out my channel. I have a few more of these trains as well, some create mod videos and also some other really cool tutorials. And maybe there is something that you like as well, and that helps me out a lot. We're actually really close to 10,000 subscribers, so if you want to be part of the first 10,000, then this is your last chance, I think. So maybe it's cool to consider to follow along, because there will be really cool things happening in the nearby future. So anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and I see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.